Something changed this week, and most Social Security recipients have no idea it's already in effect. A new rule quietly rolled out, giving the SSA a level of access to your personal finances that could shock you. This isn't about a routine benefit check or a simple payment update. It's deeper, reaching straight into where you keep your money. For years, privacy protections kept certain details out of reach, but those lines just moved. Whether you've been receiving benefits for decades or only recently applied, the impact of this change could be far bigger than you realize. Many are asking, could this mean freezing accounts, monitoring transactions, or even withholding benefits if something doesn't match up? The answers are buried in the fine print, but the rule is already active. In the next few minutes, we'll break down exactly what this means for your bank account and how it could affect you starting now. If you receive Social Security benefits or know someone who does, you cannot afford to be uninformed about this massive change. Hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell because what I'm about to reveal could save you from financial disaster. This information is so critical that I urge you to share this video with every senior in your life before it's too late. The rule change that occurred this week represents the most significant shift in Social Security enforcement power in decades, yet most beneficiaries have no idea it even happened. Why is the government being so quiet about something that affects over 70 million Americans who receive Social Security benefits? The answer lies in understanding what this new authority actually allows them to do and why they prefer to operate in the shadows rather than face the public outcry that would surely follow if people understood the full implications. Under the previous system, if the Social Security Administration suspected you had been overpaid or if they wanted to investigate potential fraud in your case, they had to follow a lengthy legal process. They would typically need to obtain a court order, provide you with advance notice, and give you an opportunity to respond before taking any action against your bank accounts. This process, while sometimes slow, provided crucial protections for innocent beneficiaries who might be caught up in bureaucratic mistakes or computer errors. But now, everything has changed. The SSA can send what they call a third-party request directly to your bank, and your financial institution is legally required to comply immediately. Think about what this means for a moment. The bank that you've trusted with your money for years, maybe even decades, must now choose between loyalty to you as their customer and compliance with federal demands. Guess which one they're going to choose every single time? When your bank receives one of these requests, they're required to provide the SSA with your account balances, your transaction history, details about deposits and withdrawals, and essentially a complete financial profile of your activities. But here's where it gets truly frightening. The SSA can then instruct your bank to place an immediate hold or freeze on whatever amount they believe you owe them, and this can happen without you receiving any advance warning whatsoever. Picture this scenario, which is becoming increasingly common across the country. You're a 72-year-old retiree who has been receiving Social Security benefits for 7 years without any problems. Your monthly payment covers your rent, utilities, medications, and grocery expenses, with just enough left over for the occasional dinner out with friends. One Tuesday morning, you go to pay for your prescription refills, and your debit card is declined. Confused and embarrassed, you call your bank from the pharmacy, only to learn that the Social Security Administration has frozen your account because their computer system detected what they believe is an overpayment from 3 years ago. The bank representative explains that they received the freeze order yesterday and were required to comply immediately. No one called you. No one sent you a letter explaining what was happening or why. You're standing in a pharmacy, unable to afford medications that keep you alive, because a government algorithm decided you might owe money that you may not actually owe. This isn't a nightmare scenario from some dystopian novel. This is the new reality under the rule that quietly took effect this week. The government justifies this expanded power by claiming they need to move quickly to prevent fraud and stop improper benefit distribution. On the surface, this might sound reasonable. After all, nobody wants tax dollars wasted on fraudulent claims. But what happens when the fraud detection systems make mistakes? What happens when innocent seniors get caught in the crosshairs of an automated enforcement system that prioritizes speed over accuracy? The SSA's fraud detection relies heavily on computer algorithms and automated data analysis. While these systems can process vast amounts of information quickly, they're also prone to generating false positives. A large deposit in your account might trigger their system, even if it's money from selling your car or receiving an inheritance. Multiple small withdrawals might look suspicious to a computer, even though you're just managing your monthly expenses. The algorithm doesn't understand that you had to dip into savings to pay for your spouse's funeral expenses, or that you received a legitimate insurance settlement, or that your adult child temporarily borrowed money during a family emergency. When these false positives occur, the consequences for seniors can be devastating. Imagine being unable to pay your rent because the SSA has frozen your account based on a computer's mistaken analysis of your financial activity. Imagine missing critical medical appointments because you can't afford transportation, or having your utilities shut off because the automated system flagged legitimate transactions as suspicious. The emotional toll of these situations extends far beyond the immediate financial hardship. Many seniors report feeling violated, confused, and helpless when they discover their accounts have been frozen without warning. They've spent their entire lives playing by the rules, paying their taxes, and trusting the system to treat them fairly in their retirement years. This new rule fundamentally breaks that trust by treating every beneficiary as a potential criminal until proven otherwise. What makes this situation even more concerning is how the appeals process works under the new system. If your account gets frozen, you do have the right to dispute the action and request a hearing. However, the appeals process can take weeks or even months to resolve, and during that entire time, your access to funds may remain restricted. Try explaining to your landlord or your doctor that you can't pay them because the government has frozen your money while they investigate whether you received an extra $50 in benefits 2 years ago. The notification process under this new rule is particularly problematic. While the SSA is technically required to inform you when they take action against your accounts, this notification often comes after the freeze has already been implemented. You might receive a letter in the mail days or weeks after discovering that your debit card doesn't work, explaining what happened and providing information about your right to appeal. By that time, you may have already faced significant hardship, missed important payments, or been forced to rely on family members or friends for basic necessities. This creates a cruel irony where the people who need Social Security benefits the most, those without significant savings or alternative income sources, are the ones who suffer the greatest harm when their accounts are frozen. If you have substantial savings in other accounts, a temporary freeze on your Social Security funds might be inconvenient but manageable. But if those monthly benefits represent your only reliable income, a freeze can quickly become a life-threatening emergency. The scope of the SSA's new authority extends beyond just the account where your Social Security benefits are deposited. They can request information from multiple financial institutions where you have accounts, giving them a comprehensive view of your entire financial picture. This means that even money you've saved independently, funds from other retirement accounts, or assets you've accumulated through years of careful financial planning could potentially be scrutinized and affected by their investigations. Understanding your rights under this new system is crucial for protecting yourself. While the SSA has gained significant new powers, you haven't lost all of your protections. You still have the right to dispute their claims, request hearings, and demand copies of the information they've collected about your financial activities. The key is knowing how to exercise these rights quickly and effectively before the situation spirals out of control. If you suspect that your account has been frozen, or if you receive any communication from the SSA about potential overpayments or fraud investigations, your response time is critical. Contact your bank immediately to understand exactly what has happened and what restrictions have been placed on your accounts. Don't wait for official notification from the SSA. By the time you receive their letter, you may have already missed crucial deadlines for responding. Simultaneously, contact the Social Security Administration directly to get their version of events. Ask specific questions about what triggered their investigation, what evidence they have, and what steps you can take to resolve the situation quickly. Document every conversation you have, including the date, time, and name of the person you spoke with. This documentation will be invaluable if you need to file an appeal or challenge their actions. The importance of having a trusted advocate cannot be overstated in these situations. Whether it's an adult child, a close friend, or a professional advocate, having someone who can help you navigate the bureaucracy while you're dealing with the stress and confusion of frozen accounts can make an enormous difference in the outcome of your case. Consider consulting with an attorney who specializes in Social Security law or elder law as soon as you become aware of any issues. These professionals understand the complex regulations and procedures involved in challenging SSA actions, and they can often resolve situations more quickly than individuals trying to navigate the system alone. Looking toward the future, this new rule represents a troubling trend in how the government balances fraud prevention against individual protections. While nobody wants to see taxpayer dollars wasted on fraudulent claims, the current approach places an unfair burden on innocent seniors who may find themselves presumed guilty until they can prove their innocence. The coming months will reveal the true impact of this rule change as more cases emerge and more families are affected by unexpected account freezes and benefit holds. Senior advocacy groups, legal aid organizations, and elected officials must pay close attention to how this new authority is being used in practice and whether additional safeguards are needed to protect vulnerable beneficiaries. For now, the best defense is knowledge and preparation. Understand that this new rule exists, know your rights under the system, and have a plan for responding quickly if your accounts are ever frozen. Monitor your bank accounts closely. Maintain detailed records of your communications with the SSA, and don't hesitate to seek professional help if you find yourself caught up in their enforcement actions. The rule that took effect this week has fundamentally changed the relationship between Social Security beneficiaries and the government agency that administers their benefits. While the SSA's stated goal of preventing fraud is understandable, the methods they're now authorized to use create significant risks for innocent seniors who depend on these benefits for their survival. Stay informed, stay prepared, and don't let this new authority catch you off guard when you can least afford to deal with financial disruption.